People ask me all the time what I think about investing overseas. And a lot of the time they're like, man, I kind of would like to have this beach house or a second house, or I'd like this cabin. And frankly, they're confusing a good investment for what they really want to do personally with their own money. Today, I'm going to share with you the good and the bad and the ugly of overseas investing. I'm going to show you how to do it the right way. I'm definitely going to show you what not to do. And overall, you're going to be able to decide by the end of the short video whether you should or should not be even considering investing overseas.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Have you ever gone to Hawaii and then stayed in someone's beach condo, or maybe you Airbnb'd it and you're thinking, oh my gosh, how cool would it be? We had such an incredible experience. What if we bought something like this and then rented it out, and then when it wasn't rented out, we could use it as much as we wanted? Have you ever had that thought? I'll put it to you this way. Have you ever been guilty of that thought?
Guilty?
Guilty? Kris Krohn, what do you mean guilty? Well, you know what I mean, right? You have emotionally gotten entangled with a property, and now you're wondering, can you justify it making sense as an investment? And you have to understand that emotions can be very, very dangerous, because they can cause you to justify or turn a blind eye to certain aspects of an investment that may not be smart or intelligent, because there's a part of you that has an ulterior motive. It's well, I want to use that property for personal use. Today, I'm going to help you understand the good and the bad. I'm going to help you understand the advantages, the disadvantages, because there are certainly going to be projects where you can emotionally fall in love with the deal and the numbers also actually make sense. So there are some serious advantages of investing overseas, and some of which include investors seeking further diversification for their portfolio may consider foreign real estate because it provides the opportunity to invest in emerging markets that have growing economies. Think for a moment where I'm at, Puerto Vallarta. It's clearly Mexico, but my wife and I love coming here. It's only a 3-hour direct flight from Salt Lake City, and it has a lot of areas and sectors that feel very Americanized. It feels like actually a great place to actually live or have a second property. And there's a lot of expats. There's a lot of Americans that are actually living right here. If you're in a market or country that is unstable or stagnant, investing abroad allows you to participate in and benefit from other countries that are experiencing larger GDP growth. For example, I got people watching this video here and have been subscribers for a long time from all over the world. And you know what they do? They say, you know what, America is a great place to invest. Kris Krohn has done over $1 billion worth of single family homes, 5,000 of them. And so a lot of people will literally connect with me through my different videos or find me on TikTok or wherever, and they'll decide to invest in America. Well, Americans can invest in other places, and ultimately, you've got the pick of the litter when you can invest globally. Owning real estate in another country also adds a layer of diversification against political or economic instability. It allows you to hedge against the ups and downs of various countries' markets and economic cycles. Right now, people want to be investing in America. Why? Because we have a 50-year historic low on rates. We also have a really huge supply and demand problem, as in we're missing millions of homes. And it'll take us years before we can actually satisfy that demand by getting all the builders mobilized to build as much real estate as possible. And that's going to keep forcing prices higher and higher, which means that this is a very attractive place for people wanting to invest right now. In fact, there are 5 major advantages that you should consider when investing overseas, including the following: retirement or a vacation home for you, as in, hey, wait a second here, I was gonna buy a vacation home anyway. Is there a place or at a discount or a price or location I could get it that could make it actually a great investment? There's also protecting your money from inflation, generating an income stream in another currency. There are tax havens if you're in a high tax bracket at home, and there's opportunities to obtain residency or even a second passport if there's an economic advantage for you in actually doing that. But there's also some disadvantages that you want to be aware of. Last night I was having the most amazing dinner at this Cliff restaurant, and on the way home out of nowhere, we got caught in one of the craziest downpours. These streets were absolutely flooded. They put sandbags up, and literally I'm like, where's the gutter system? Where's the sewer system? I wondered whether my car that I had rented was literally going to be pushed down the hill into the ocean. There are definitely some disadvantages of overseas real estate that you should be aware of. Property ownership laws and potential selling stipulations will vary by country, which can make it difficult to purchase or cash out your investment depending on where the investment is located. Some countries will only allow the purchase of land and not building, or vice versa. Others may only allow foreign buyers to purchase real estate if a native resident is on the deed. You may also run into laws that allow you to purchase the real estate but make it nearly impossible to sell it or take your money back out of the country. So due diligence is so critical when you're considering out-of-state investing. You definitely want to get with an expert, and you want to get the very best opinions you possibly can, because this is not something that you really want to mess up. There are some other disadvantages that you should be aware of if you're going to be a foreign investor in someone else's country. Check this out. Another disadvantage of being an international investor is access to financing for the investment itself. Many countries don't offer mortgages like they do in the United States, even to their own residents, which means that if you want to buy it, you might have to come in and buy it cash, or you might have to raise the money or do something a little bit more creative, because the bank may be a whole bunch of no bueno.
Hola, ¿tú eres un bueno worker?
Sí, yo muy bueno worker.
And countries that do offer mortgages may offer unfavorable terms, which could require a much larger down payment, higher interest rates. That means most investors buying real estate abroad need to do so with private financing or a large sum of cash out of pocket. And you know what? That's a big turnoff for someone like me that says, I want to diversify. If I could literally buy stateside and buy 5 homes, why would I do that instead of buying abroad and only buying 1? 5 homes are going to appreciate 5 times more. I'm going to get more tax benefits. I got more diversification. Be very careful of putting all your eggs in one basket.
I'm putting all my eggs in one basket.
Someone's going to ask about 1031 exchanges and say, okay, Kris, so if I wanted to buy a property overseas, could I roll some of the profits from a property that I had in the US into a property over there for tax benefits? And the answer is yes, you can, but you need to be aware that as long as you roll that 1031 forward, any of the income that you make overseas is going to have to roll back into the United States, and you're going to be paying taxes on it, so it might negate some of those tax benefits. So let's talk about how you invest in properties overseas. Investors should look for opportunities for income and growth, but also look at the country's track record and evidence that the property you purchase there will be a stable investment in the long run. Emerging markets may offer the best appreciation, but may not be stable, especially short term. Retirement havens where the weather is warm and the cost of living is low likely already have a slight premium on the real estate, but they'll probably offer you a more secure investment property in the long haul. So I've jotted down a list of qualities that you should look for in overseas investment opportunities. They include growth and industry. There should be something exceptional happening in that area that says, wow, I want to get in on this market while it is emerging. Number 2, a thriving middle class. That's going to give you stability. Number 3, a stable political regime. Like, don't go investing in Venezuela when inflation is freaking through the nose. Number 4, a housing market near enterprise zones. This is going to create higher level of demand, specifically if you're focusing on residential or condos or multifamily. And then number 5, markets outside of the major metro areas. That's noted as the path of progress. Those are the areas that are going to develop and see the biggest ROI and a surge of growth. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. And yet, I gotta be honest with you, do I own any property outside the United States right now? I don't. I'm gonna tell you why. Every time I run the numbers, you know what I find? I find that I have superior investment opportunities in my backyard, and so I have to ask myself, Kris, can you always mix business with pleasure? Here's the cleanest way I've found to do it. Number 1, go invest your money in the investments that have no emotion involved and are going to make you the highest ROI, the highest return on investment. Then take all of those amazing winnings and take the appropriate portion that you're not reinvesting and go spend them on the lifestyle that you actually want. You know, for me, I've made a commitment. It's a rule of mine. I'm not going to visit the same country a second time in general until I've seen every other country. I don't want to go to the same place twice until I've seen everything else out there, because I love variety and I love seeing the world. And so personally, I'm not the homebody that says, oh, I want this cabin or this beach house, and it's the house that I'm going to use over and over and over again till I die. I think I'm too curious and I want to see everything else that's out there. And I understand that you may not be built that way, but here's what I have learned for me. I'm not attached to ownership. What I am attached to is variety and having my investments make me so much money that I can live the lifestyle of my dreams. Almost every single day, I have my team buy me another property in the United States that fits inside a very narrow system. Those homes make me 25 to 50% of my money every year, which means that every couple of years, every 2 or 3 years, my assets are doubling in value, and then I'm multiplying them, and guess what happens? The reason why 90% of all millionaires do it in the game of real estate is because real estate just keeps on growing and expanding. It's like rabbits having babies. They multiply so fast as time passes. If you don't have a system for making millions of dollars in real estate, let me give you one for free. The very first of 5 books that I wrote is called The Straight Path to Real Estate Wealth. It shows how anyone, someone like me starting with no credit and no money, in 4.5 years could be entirely financially free through real estate, and it'll give you a custom game plan of exactly how to do that. There's a link below. Get your copy of my book. Let me reveal all my secrets, because within a couple hours of reading that book, you can have your own game plan on how you're gonna make millions of dollars. And then if you wanna buy something overseas, fantastic. You wanna buy a private island, fantastic. But buy investments that make sense and make you really good money, and then spend the money on the lifestyle that makes sense, just as long as you leave something for investing as well. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. If you don't have a copy of my free book, click the link below, cover the shipping and handling, my team will send it out to you, and I'll give you that free game plan. Other than that, the internet thinks that you're gonna love this video next. I don't know what you've been clicking on, but it seems to just get that this is the video you need to watch next. Check it out and enjoy.